Better Sister Growth Network was founded on February 18, 2012 by Lakeisha Tate. Their mission is to become a supportive resource for various communities by helping entrepreneurs establish businesses in their communities, help educate homeless families in need, conduct seminars that act as an information source to enhance the lives of people across the city, offering mentoring programs for young women and men, and support domestic violence victims. Their vision is to develop a supportive atmosphere with members who are willing to grow, become successful, and to build a stronger community and organization for the future. The Better Sister Growth organization, based on the belief that their service to communities is of the most importance. Their entire team is committed to meeting the needs of the people throughout the city. They have an open door policy for welcoming the opportunity for other entrepreneurs to join the team. Meetings are held every Saturday of the month. Lakeisha was on my Windy City Underground radio show on March 30th, which is also known as Good Friday. And I asked her about doing a documentary on the Better Sister Growth Network, and she replied yes emphatically. Just recently, I made a trip to the Better Sister Growth Network, and here's what you're gonna see. Hello everybody, and welcome to Shy Connections. I am Raphael Young, and I am standing outside the Better Sister Growth Network headquarters, located 10824 South Halsted Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60628. And I am going to go inside, and Lakeisha is going to tell you a little more about the Better Sister Growth Network.
Hi, my name is Lakeisha, and I am the CEO of the Better Sister Growth Network. The Better Sister Growth Network is a nonprofit organization that has been established since 2012. And what we do is we are a supportive resource for the community with domestic violence and also homelessness. And with the organization, we have multiple programs where we do after-school programs, we do we do summer programs, which will be our first summer program this year, and then we also sponsor and host our own fundraisers for domestic violence, which takes place every year in March and also in October. The breakfasts are for survivors and victims to tell their stories, and what we do is a proceeds goes to the shelter of our choice. And then in this year, what we have been doing in our office location is we have victims or survivors come in and they volunteer their services and they help us out throughout the community. Me being the CEO of the organization, I inspire, I mentor, and I motivate the women to not just help us inside of our office, but also to help us within the community. And if we have women that come inside of the office and they need help, we're here to give them clothing, we're here to give them shoes, we're here to give them personal care items, and we're here to give back into their lives.
On occasions, nonprofit organizations go through hard times and struggles. What hard times and struggles did the Better Sister Growth Network go through?
Before we started in the office, we were outreaching. So with the outreach, we were on the corners of Inglewood, and we were setting up tables, and we were giving back to the families in the different shelters within the Inglewood community.
Some nonprofit organizations have excruciating fees. Some nonprofit organizations have very small fees. Some nonprofit organizations have no fees at all. What fees, if any, does the Better Sister Growth Network have?
There are no fees. All we do is ask for people to give us donations to whether it's clothing, shoes, it's personal care items. We don't ask for any fees. Only fees is if we have an event. That's it.
Even though the Better Sister Growth Network has been in existence for 6 years, I'm pretty sure that they have goals to meet. I wonder what they are.
So my goal is to have a building, which is a transitional building for not just the domestic violence victims, but also survivors, where they can come in and teach the women. We can do life skills development, which we do now. Sometimes it depends on the particular person. If they want that, we'll do life skills development. But I want to have a building. I don't want it just to be a building. I want it to be a growing step for the women. If it's a 6-month program, a 1-year program, where we can instill into them, and we can also teach them things that they're getting that they're so used to getting from their abuser, where it's love, nourishment, clothing, whatever they need, we're going to be here. But I would prefer survivors to come in and help them, because they know the woman's struggle, or the youth, or the young lady, or the young men. A lot of times men, they're afraid. So now I'm opening up that entity for men to come in, because we do have men that are domestic violence.
As Lakeisha stated earlier, the Better Sister Growth Network helps out women who are victims of domestic violence. And I actually had the pleasure to speak with not one, not two, but yes, you guessed it, 3 beautiful queens who are survivors of domestic violence, and all 3 will tell you how they survived.
I met a guy in October of 2000. I married him December 28th, 2001. And almost immediately after we got married, the abuse started. It went from verbal to physical to threats, all kind of things. And then one day, I just woke up. He attacked me in front of my 5-year-old son. And my baby was standing there, and he told me to tell my son to stop crying or he was going to hit me again. And I had to tell my baby to be quiet to keep me from getting hit again. Sorry. And I'm sorry. It took everything in me to tell my 5-year-old to be quiet, to keep me from getting hit again. And when he finally stopped hitting me, I went and looked in the mirror, and my 2 front teeth were turned around backwards. I had a hole in my head, and he had the nerve to come in and ask me to let him help me clean me up. I said no. He stepped outside to smoke a cigarette. I told my son, my 5-year-old son, I said, put your shoes on. I said, when I tell you to run, don't stop for nothing. And while he was outside having that cigarette smoke, me and my 5-year-old son took off out the back door. I ran, never looked back. And that was it. Never looked back. I dealt with this for 3 months. I married him December 28th, 2001. I left him April 16th, 2002. I never talked to him again, never spoke another word to him. And I finally I just went through with the divorce February of last year. And I'm free. I'm done. And I know I'm supposed to forgive to move on. But I have, but then again I haven't. It still hurts, as you can see. And this was 17 years ago. And that's it. I remember standing in the courtroom and the judge asked me, is there anything you want? I was like, my name back. And that was it. That's all. In 2000, it hurt. It took a long time after I left him to even be around males again. I was so, I guess, in a shell. I didn't even want to come in contact with him, any males or anything. But in 2007, I met a wonderful guy that's been nothing but good to me. And I just married him last year. So I'm happy, and I think that that's what I needed in my life. And I'm good now.
Hi, my name is Tanika. My domestic violence abuse started pretty young. I'm actually the 3rd generation of a 4th generational curse of domestic violence. My grandmother was abused by my grandfather. He stabbed her in the stomach while pregnant. Checked the meters on her car mileage before she left and when she came back. My mother was abused by my father. Bathroom door chopped down with an axe, running through the alley at 5 years old, trying to get away from him. Then at 19 years old, the day before prom, my teeth were knocked out my mouth. I lived with 2 black eyes at any given time. Stitches in my lips, stitches in my head. My daughter now drugged, being pregnant downstairs, left in the alley, no clothes on. Black eyes, busted lips, stitches in the head. My grandma told me, you're going to be knocked around so much, you ain't going to have no sense up there. I thought, I used to think I would never get out of it. I would end up dying like that. And grace of God, delivered me from it. How did I survive? I don't know. I really don't know. I guess God, is the only one. I was taught faith at a young age, and he was the only one that I had to depend on. And I used to wonder why he was allowing this to happen, why he allowed it to happen to my mother. But, and I still don't have the answer. I know that I survived. And I feel good to tell the story because it's like taboo. No one wants to talk about it. Everybody's in denial. Every young girl that I tried to bring to the organization, who getting abused? Who going through domestic violence? You are. They're living in denial. Like, I was so ashamed. I stayed with my family 2 years at a time because I had black eyes all the time, and I just didn't want them to see me. So I thank God for the Better Sister Growth Network because I can give back and tell that you can get away from him. They'll tell you, you'll never get away from me. Nobody wants you. Nobody love you like me. They're all lies. Lies, he tell you. And I figured that out. And I got away, but I went through so much to wake up, and I just pray that so many others don't have to go through that struggle because we've done it for you. We have the answers. There are answers. There is a cure for this. You just need to have strength. Know that there are others. You're not alone, and there's help. Thank you. And I did get blessed with a good man at the end too. So there is hope. There is hope. God is a faithful God.
Yes, he is.
And I don't want to get spiritual, but he is the only answer.
Right. Hello, my name is Deja. I was in an abusive relationship for about 7 years. Most of it was emotional abuse. It was physical about once or twice a year, including pushing and shoving, holding down, squeezing my arms so I can't move. But consistently, it was emotionally abusive. And I found a new passion for awareness around emotional abuse because many people stay in it because, one, they don't know they're in it, and two, they think that because they're not being hit or physically assaulted that it's not abuse. But it very much is so, and it's very detrimental. Emotional abuse is a slow form of brainwashing that slowly disintegrates your self-esteem, your identity, who you are, to the point where you don't trust yourself, you don't trust others, and your whole trajectory of your life depends on how you see yourself, and it's about your mind. And if somebody can take your mind and control your mind, they take everything. So getting out of that, I was also in consistent family generations of emotional abuse, including intimidation. That was a big form, and manipulation. That was really the main tool that my abuser used. He used guilt to manipulate me. And you have to be very cunning and very smart to be able to manipulate. But if you get a really good mastermind, you're locked up. So that was what mine was. But the way I was able to be enlightened to what I was experiencing was because I was able to get around other people. One of the strategies abusers use is isolation. They try to isolate you from many people so that they are your only go-to. They know everything. They love you. They got you. Don't trust anyone else. My abuser had a lot of trust issues with people. He didn't think that I should have friends because he didn't trust them. They're going to influence you in the wrong way. So I found myself very isolated and lonely. Struggled with anxiety, didn't know it, and depression, didn't know it. And my family saw it, but they didn't know that it was abuse because, like I said, they had been through the same thing, and it was normal. Emotional abuse was normal for my family and our culture. But I prayed for someone to come into my life just to help me be a better wife, because I always thought it was me. What can I do better to make him happy, to not make him angry, so that, you know, things can be okay. But he brought a woman, and she did tell me how to be a better wife, but she started telling me how, you know, what I was going through was not right. You know, what he was doing to me was wrong. And I'm like, really? That's wrong? And, you know, you really, when you're in an emotionally abusive relationship, the lines of what's right and wrong are really misconstrued. You're wrong for everything. You're wrong for questioning. You're wrong for inquiring. You're wrong for being you. So you change to make them happy and try to avoid anger and try to avoid verbal attacks. You know, I was told that I don't have a life anymore, that I'm a mother and a wife. And I was punished for wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. He told me, you asked for this. So my whole life was just serving him and serving my child. So that was, you know, that was hard to hear that and then live that. Because God has many other gifts in me and many other abilities, as he does for many women, and, you know, anybody. But once she started enlightening me to help me understand what was going on, I started to move to a point where I was able to leave. But she had to help me see the strength inside of me and the greatness inside of me and build me up so that I can realize that I'm worth more. So once I realized that, I was able to leave. And it was actually, he asked me for a divorce because I wasn't a good enough wife. And I happily agreed. I didn't show that excitement, but I was inside just jumping for joy. I wanted to wait about a couple months for me to actually save up to get my own place, but there was a circumstance with drugs, and me and my son were in danger, and I had to flee the house. I was comfortable in the abuse. I was willing to wait out. That happens a lot too. But let me wrap it up. So I was able to leave, and the recovery process is still going on. It's a lot of renewing the way I think about myself and building my self-esteem to know who I am and that I can accomplish great things. So, yeah.
And there you have it. Those were 3 beautiful queens who survived domestic violence in their relationships/marriages. If you're in an abusive relationship, please get out. It may be a little difficult to do at first, but once you find the strength to get out, run. Be like Usain Bolt in the Olympics and run like hell. If you want more information about the Better Sister Growth Network, visit www.tbsgnetwork.vpweb.com. And if you want to learn how to do video, as in video editing, video shooting, want to learn how to do audio editing, get into radio, TV broadcasting, and learn about social media platforms everywhere, just to name a few of what's going on, go to beonair.com. I guarantee you will hear from a representative. They will contact you and they will tell you all about it. This is Raphael Young from Shy Connection signing out. Peace!